Hello everybody! I want to give a special shout out to my grandma Carol in the event that you're watching this video, and I just wanted to say hello and that I love you. I got a message from my grandma Carol this morning, and she let me know she was kind of having a hard time sleeping last night, but she ended up waking up and went to go look for some of my videos, and it sounds like after a couple of hours I was able to put her to sleep. So, if nothing else, if my tips and stories are not helpful for you and you're having trouble sleeping, that might just do the trick. But all silliness aside, this was an awesome weekend. I actually was really excited and kind of really appreciated when we went to go pick up sourdough bread that we ordered from Wild Woods Bakery. And it's a mom and a wife of a beautiful family in Hastings, Minnesota, and she makes sourdough breads. And one of her breads is dill pickle flavored. I love pickles. I love dill pickle everything. So of course, this is the second time we've ordered from her now, but even more than the bread, it is so enjoyable to like meet up with the family and just saying hello. And yeah, so I was just really appreciative of that. So if you're ever in Hastings, Minnesota, and she has an order, drop out. Wild Woods Bakery, and their dill pickle bread makes a mean grilled cheese sandwich. So the other thing that happened this weekend that I thought was really cool was Nathan had his 30-year high school reunion. And going to that as a spouse and a person who knows literally no one at the place, it was kind of an interesting event. So the two stories that stick out from the event are, there was a woman who came and sat with us, didn't necessarily know, I don't think she even knew Nathan at all from high school. I think she was also a spouse. And she came and sat with us, and we got to talking, and I ended up telling her that I loved her dress, and she's like, I'm so embarrassed to admit this, but I bought this from Amazon. And I was just like, you know, these earrings that I'm wearing, I bought from, and I mentioned a cheap website that isn't very popular, but it was where I got my earrings. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just told me you got those there. I shopped there too, but I'm too embarrassed to admit it. And I was just like, who cares? You know, does it really matter what brand or store that you're wearing? Or, you know, so we were able to connect with that, and it was just very cute because, you know, she ended up telling me for work what she does is she is basically works under the CEO of a big corporation that's in Minnesota. But we were able to connect like friends quickly, and I loved it. And this may be a little bit TMI, but I'm going to say it anyways because it's real. And as we were sitting there talking and going back and forth, just talking about our families and what's going on in life, and she ended up just looking at me. She goes, do you gotta pee? And I'm like, not actually, but I could. And she goes, you know, let's go. So her and I made a stroll to the bathroom and, you know, took care of whatever we needed to and came back. But it was just interesting how you can meet someone that's brand new, doesn't know you, and you can bond like that and be just silly and playful. It was seriously a highlight of my evening, and maybe that's weird, and that's fine, but that's me. And obviously her. I won't shout out her name or anything like that, just in case that's not something that she would want to admit to. But I thought it was adorable and just really stuck out to me what like childlike behaviors and just being able to let go and have fun and not having to be so serious all the time. You know, there is definitely a time and a place to be serious, but that certainly the class reunion was not one of them where we had to be all serious and act all, I don't know, I can't think of anything else other than serious. So it was just fun and playful. And anyways, the second thing was there was another man that had approached Nathan, and they went to school together, and I'm not sure how close they were when they were in school, but they were, you know, definitely had recognized each other and were kind of checking in to see how life had been. And that person had said that they traveled from Florida to come visit the reunion. So after they were done chatting a little bit, me and Nathan ended up going and grabbing some food, and we sat down in a different room at a table, and we're just kind of like sitting around and looking at the slideshow that was going on the screen. And probably within like maybe 20, 30 minutes later, that same man that we had been talking to walked in the room and kind of was like looking around. And certainly there were a lot of other places that he could have sat. But all of a sudden, I saw him looking for a place to sit. And so I love when I see someone who needs somewhere to sit that I can look over and be like, hey, you, come over here. And so that's exactly what I did. And who knows, maybe he was looking for someone else that he wasn't going to sit with us. But I love to take the opportunity to invite anyone to come sit with me if they're looking like they're looking for a place to sit. So all of a sudden, his initial reaction was to like look behind him, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, you come sit with us. And so he ended up coming to sit with us, and we got to learn about all sorts of things that he'd been doing in life. And it sounds like their family had even lived in South Africa for a period of time for a company that he worked for. And now he's doing really good, and his kids are doing really good in Florida, and his son plays soccer. And so then he started asking us about what we do, and we told him, and we also mentioned that we might want to be snowbirds in another few years when my youngest is 18. And so he's like, well, and I'm like, so we can come stay with you, right? And I was totally joking, but he was so quick to be like, if you wanted to come stay with us, and we were just having a blast. So my whole point in saying that is I hope people learn that it's okay to be silly, it's okay to have fun, and it's okay to actually make friends with people as long as you're like safe about it. I mean, don't invite someone to come live with you the first time you meet them, but we just really had a good time chatting with people that we didn't necessarily know super well, and we got to know better. And it would be really nice if people were willing to do that as adults, I guess. To me, if I meet somebody and they want to tell me about their life, I think that's fun and exciting, and I just love making new friends. I just wanted to add one more thing to the woman with the reunion story. And at one point in time, she ended up just stopping and she goes, you know what? I'm sorry. I am just so boring. And I was kind of like, boring? I don't think you're boring, but I just said, if you were more exciting, what would you be talking about? And she kind of stopped and thought about it. And she's like, probably like shopping or like just something more exciting. And I just thought that was interesting because I'm like, I think everyone's a little bit boring if you're trying to only talk about some huge highlights like you won a Super Bowl ring or you're flying to another continent tomorrow or it was just I think that a lot of people refrain from talking about things because they don't know if it's makes sense to talk about. They don't know if they're boring. They don't know. And really, I find just talking about everyday life fascinating. And in the big scheme of things, we're not always going to be accomplishing something or having some huge milestone that took years to get to talk about. And that's fine. And how exciting is it to just be able to talk about your everyday life and the things that bring you joy in the moment? So, anyways, do you think you're boring? Or do you think you're super exciting? And if you were talking to someone who was super exciting, what do you think they would be talking about? Have a good day. Bye.